Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Duck Legs podcast. My name is Jared Aguilar. I'm a physical therapy student going to school in Austin, Texas. Yeah, I'm one of the co-hosts, one of the many co-hosts of this podcast. And here at the Duck Legs, as you may know already, we try to go underneath the surface of a lot of people that we think are quite badass to figure out what drives them, what gets their duck legs paddling hard. Why does that sound kind of sexy? I don't know. But hey, this week we got Dr. Aaron Perez out of Illinois. He's a badass physical therapist, recent, fairly new physical therapist. I believe he's like a year and change out on the field, just getting after it, grinding, hustling hard. He is the embodiment of PT 2.0. Shout out to Jeff Moore and Gene and so many others out there really pushing for what PT 2.0 is. If you have questions about that, please go stop this podcast now and go listen to Jeff Moore and all of those people behind that movement. But yeah, that's very inside physical therapy baseball right now. So if you're a physio nerd, that's the path you want to go down. If you're a hip-hop nerd, we got something for you too, because Dr. Aaron Perez initially wanted to be a rap star. So we're going to learn more about that. We're going to talk about his favorite Emcee, Homeboy Sandman, and his favorite album from Homeboy, The Good Son, along with the opportunity to hear Aaron Perez drop an impromptu freestyle, which all freestyles should be impromptu, but nonetheless, he rapped on the show, so you get that treat. Also, we talk about getting comfortable as a new grad physical therapist, him being featured on a Daily V, on the Ask Gary V show, self-awareness, authenticity, more on residency. Should you do a physical therapy residency or not? And the mentorship he got. Just a bunch of gems from the guy about mentorship and residency, as was just stated, and then back to hip-hop. Well, so we covered a large span of physical therapy and hip-hop on this episode. And if you're a nerd, if you're a physio and a hip-hop nerd, this episode's for you. Also, shout out to pigeons. Pigeons, the bird, gets a lot of love in this episode. Hashtag you're the pigeons. So, yeah. Without further ado, I'm going to shut up and let Aaron Perez serenade you with his freestyles. Peace.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Duck Legs podcast. We are here today with Dr. Aaron Perez. I prefer to be called Aaron, but I'm going to call him Dr. Perez throughout the episode to annoy him. Welcome, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I'm on this call with my two buddies here. Jared, do you have any questions?
I got so many questions for Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm honored that he can join us today.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk to him only about Homeboy Sandman.
Yeah. Yes. I'm happy to talk about any kind of Homeboy Sandman stuff you want.
Favorite Homeboy Sandman album?
The Good Son, hands down.
Okay.
I got into Homeboy Sandman a lot a few years ago. It was like my sophomore year of college. I don't know what year, like maybe 2011 or something. And I know recently he's been coming out with a lot more albums. I haven't listened to all of them a ton, but The Good Son is one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time.
Yeah. He's just ridiculously lyrical. And
oh, absolutely.
And it's not even like when you think, he's a conscious rapper and you're just going to be bored. He's going to be talking about all the ills of society. No, it's just super strong, and you never get bored at all. At least I don't, listening to Homeboy.
No, I love Homeboy Sandman. His style was just so different, and he was kind of weird, to be honest, but he was cool with being different and being weird, and that drew me to him a little bit. And then if you search in YouTube Homeboy Sandman freestyle, one of the videos, I think it's called Live at J Records or something like that. And it's a 10-minute video of him just going off, amazing. And I love watching people freestyle, and when people are really just going off the top, and you can tell. But I still just spend hours watching people freestyle on YouTube because I have
get sucked
a
in
horrible problem with procrastination, and that's what I like to do. So
Yeah, Tyler's just over here shaking his head because he's such a great freestyle rapper.
yeah.
Battle with anybody.
Battle with anybody. Yes.
Battle rapping is definitely one of those dynamics that I am like, what's going on here? But I have to keep listening to it. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. This guy is like in this man's face and he's not doing anything and they're just going back and forth. Yeah.
Just going at it, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever participated in the art of freestyling, Aaron?
I have many times in college. And I'm not saying that I'm good at all. However, I've definitely participated. I've even been in rap battles, even formal rap battles, like pay to entry rap battles, and I've lost at the same time, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah. No pressure, but you were the first guest to rap on the show. So would you mind doing that?
Oh no.
We don't have a beat prepared for the guy.
Just straight acapella.
Yeah, acapella. Just yeah.
We need you to go 10 minutes, homeboy style.
Oh God, I don't think I can do that.
The topic is healthcare.
Healthcare.
Yeah.
Let me think.
You gotta give him a beat. You gotta give him some.
I don't. Can you do the straight? Like Modest Yahoo. You know how he's like the beat bar.
There we go. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's the weakest.
You just got
beat
4
ever.
bars of the weakest beat.
All right, how about this? We'll just go a cappella. How about we're chilling here on the podcast with the duck legs, on the grind, trying to find our own path to success. Along the way, better believe gonna be much stress, but gotta embrace the suck, man. Shout out to Jeff and the other mentor, Jean Sharaka Broad. Ever since I was a youngin', I could rock a crowd. Man, I'm just trying to make my mama proud. And when I'm done, man, y'all better holler loud. Cause I'm just having fun. I feel like I'm 21, but I'm really 25, and I just do it live, man. I don't shuck a job, just kick it off the top, and I don't stop till the clock done tick-tocking. I'ma keep spitting hot, and whatever comes to my mind, freestyle all the time, at the drop of a dime, at the drop of a hat, man. I do it like that.
Damn.
All right, if you guys get another PT to come on here and freestyle.
Damn. Yo, this is Jared Aguilar with Hot 97. You just heard Aaron Perez go in and kill that shit.
Yeah. Drop the cool bomb. Bombs everywhere. Tim Westwood style. Just Tim Westwood.
Wait. Hot 97. You listen to Duck Legs Radio. That was Aaron Perez and his hot freestyle.
Oh my God, this is hilarious.
That's at least a milli right
that
there.
was
at
awesome.
least a milli views from
that. Was awesome. That was great.
No, yeah,
great.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I just rhymed with Sharaka Broad, which in itself is like a feet.
Yeah, that was as soon as I heard his name come up, I was like, "What's he got here? Where are we going from here?"
Teach rock abroad.
It's almost like orange. Like you can't get anything wrong with it, but Eminem somehow did it. He just made up words.
That's what you got to do sometimes. Just change the syllables to make them rhyme.
Aaron just made Sharaka Broad sound like the most hip hop word ever.
Now it's like a fancy shoe. Now everybody's gonna be buying. Hey, you got the Sharaka Broads, man? Yeah.
Oh, you got them 09 Sharaka Broads?
People are gonna be like looking up, like who's Sharaka Broad? Who is that?
They need to look them up. They need to find out about Uptalk Media, dude.
Yeah.
We literally just made him buy another $10 million.
But man, that wasn't good freestyling for like, oh, he's a physical therapist and he freestyles. No, that was good on any level.
Yeah,
I'd put Aaron Perez up there. I'd watch him battle.
That was like Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
you guys are being way too kind, but I appreciate it. And when you guys gonna go? You put me on the spot.
Not now. Not now.
No, I'm it's too early in the morning. I know I'm gonna get started with my rapping until 12.
Yeah. Make excuses. It's all good, man.
Certainly not gonna follow that.
I have to really start working on my freestyle.
I think all of us are definitely gonna have to put in some reps now.
Oh, hey, when we're at CSM, we'll get together and when it's not recording, I think everyone would be more free to ask themselves.
Yeah, we'll make the freestyle physio mixtape.
Freestyle physio mixtape, yes. Dude, Jared, we just got to find all PTs out there that are into freestyle and get them together.
Jerry Durham.
Jerry Durham?
Yeah, Jerry Durham.
Love BC Boys.
He loves BC Boys.
Oh, I know he loves BC Boys.
Tell me Greg Ty wouldn't be down for that.
Oh my God, I feel like Greg would for sure be down for that.
This would be like the cheesiest thing ever, and we could flip it around, just kill it, man. Kill it.
One long hip hop track with all the guys.
Almost like We Are the World with like PT version, and just
my God,
yeah, just keep passing the mic over and over again. And these are the therapists that we know. Just imagine all of the ones that when I show up to CSM that aren't as well known. Man, they're just gonna crush it. Yeah, just gonna crush it, man.
You guys gotta You guys just gotta set up a booth at CSM for like that podcast, but just have like beats playing the whole time.
Yeah,
people like spinning rhymes.
Oh my God.
That'll be your CSM podcast, just like PT's trying to rap.
I'm down. That's a genius idea.
Hey, you know it may not be too late to get in for a booth. It may not be too late. We might be able to try.
I like how we're like the double meaning of booth at CSM.
Oh yeah. Double entendre, baby.
Come in the booth. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Aaron, so thank you again for being on. If listeners now might have forgotten that you're actually a physical therapist and not a rapper. How long have you been practicing?
Rap or PT? No. I've been a physical therapist for about 1.5 years now.
Yeah. And you loving it?
Yeah, man. I love it. I feel super lucky that I found a career that I really enjoy and that I wake up excited for. And I spend tons of time in my free time just trying to learn more and get better. At such a young age, I found something that I'm really into because I know that it's not the norm. So, yeah, man. And you guys, too. I mean, just the fact that you guys are doing a podcast and still in school and are this engaged in the profession so early in your career is pretty remarkable. So shout out to you guys.
Gracias. Thank you, sir. Just trying to be like you over here.
So I'm going to follow that up real quick with that small. So Aaron, for all the students out there, about how long would you say you were out there before you really felt pretty comfortable in your own skin and, everything started feeling like clockwork?
I would say I'm still waiting for that point. So I've been out 1.5 years and I'm still waiting for that day. No, I mean, there's good days and bad days. I mean, some days I feel like man, it's just like people are getting better. Like I think I got this figured out. Like it's going well. And then you'll have days where it just seems like everybody's doing worse. And you're just getting your butt kicked in the clinic. But it's a roller coaster, man. You gotta take the good with the bad. And but overall, I definitely feel like I'm still at the point where I'm learning a lot and have a ton to continue to learn. So even on clinicals, it was the same, like you guys haven't been out on clinicals, right? You guys are about to go on your first one, you said?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So even on clinicals, I mean, even in my first one, it was an outpatient physical therapy clinic, and our clinicals are really short for the first 3. So I only spent 4 weeks there. But my CI was just really very positive, and there were times where I was like, man, I think like this PT stuff ain't too bad. It was only my first clinical, so that's so naive to think that. But I was like, I got this. And then, then the next day you'd be like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So it's just lots of ups and downs, but I think that's expected. And so those are still continuing, but slowly learning as we go.
And also something else that's on your resume is that you've been on a podcast with Gary Vee. And is that correct?
I wasn't on the podcast per se. I asked him a question for his Ask Daily V podcast that he does, and he was kind enough to answer it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of on it.
Yeah. Let's just stick with you were on a podcast with Gary Vee. And
the cool thing was that episode, he had E.T., the hip hop.
Yeah.
I think he's called a hip hop preacher or something like that. That's
Yeah.
And so that's like the two of my favorite people like out there on social media and stuff. And the fact that my question got answered for that episode was pretty cool. But
Perfect, man.
But yeah, anyway. So I guess I was on the podcast with them.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on that because you talk about learning the ropes of PT and every day being different and just working with your passion. Because your question on that podcast that you were on with Gary Vee was about self-awareness, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's the first time, because I was listening to that episode, and then all of a sudden, I see your profile pic and your name, and I'm like, oh shit, I know that name, and I think I follow that dude on Twitter. He's like a PT guy, and I reached out to you like right after that. I was like, hey, I know you. You were on this thing that I like, and you said some things that resonated. And so, how did you feel about Gary Vee's response to your question about self-awareness, and if you can remember what that question was that you asked him?
Yeah, the question was, because Gary Vee, for anyone who doesn't follow him, he's all about self-awareness, and he thinks that's like the number one strength that he has that allows him to be successful compared to other people who aren't comfortable or who know themselves really well. Being that we're in the mentorship mastermind group, and Jeff and Gene talk about self-awareness all the time too, part of the question that I had with regards to that is, when it comes to self-awareness, is it more about self-creation, so knowing who you want to be and kind of creating yourself to match that, or self-discovery, where you kind of go through life always searching for who you really are, and then like you eventually come to that realization? And I believe Gary's response was, first he's like, damn, that's a deep question.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. And then they kind of, I think, went on a little bit of a tangent, and then he eventually said, I think it's both. You need to know who you are and your strengths and weaknesses, but also who you want to be, and then how that ties into your goals, which is kind of where my beliefs were too. And my reason for asking you was, I feel like when people talk about self-awareness, they talk about this like, not necessarily passive process, but definitely not like a creative process where you're really trying to change yourself, but rather you're going through life and trying to have different experiences until you finally come to a realization of you are this person that you were born to be. And I don't really believe that, because there are plenty of things that I know about myself that I don't particularly like, and that I want to change, and I want to create a person of who I want to be, right? So I have aspirations of being an educator within PT, and getting out of my comfort zone and speaking to crowds, and teaching on a more large scale kind of level. However, I'm totally uncomfortable doing that, and public speaking and things of that nature. And I'm generally a more shy person. So knowing that about myself, I can say that my goals aren't in line with who I know I am as a person, or I could say I want to create myself to meet my goals, which I don't know. It's a little bit about knowing yourself, but also creating the person that you want to be. In my opinion, I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but we're just trying to figure this thing out as we go. So what do you guys think?
I think you shouldn't be afraid of anything, because you just came on here dry and did a 10-minute acapella freestyle.
Yeah,
true. So I don't see how.
10 seconds. It wasn't. But yeah, man, I mean, as you guys asked me to do that, my heart started racing. I felt a little nervous, but I think as you go through life, you just start to embrace those feelings of nervousness, and over time, it becomes not a barrier. So it's kind of the goal, dude, right?
Yeah.
Makes me think about this great TED Talk episode I heard where the lady on there was saying, fake it until you make it and then become it.
Yeah.
So if you want to aim at something, aim there, and you may not know it all at the time, but you fake it till you make it. Definitely have the knowledge behind it, of course, but eventually you'll become that great speaker that you want to be, especially starting off on this podcast rapping.
Yeah. I feel like there's such a fine line between fake it till you make it and also being authentic, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know. I'd be really interested to know what kind of Gene and Jeff's take are on that, because they both preach authenticity so much, and I totally agree. But then there's also that suggestion of, faking it till you make it and how that can be beneficial. So I think there's like a balance between the two.
That's a great point and a great question. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times, like when it comes to things, maybe like public speaking, where you have to just go and experience it from so many people and then go do it yourself. So I feel like for me, like when I'm coaching, a lot of the times when you say like fake it till you make it, like I'll go take another coach's class, and then the next class, I'm very much like whoever's class I just took, because I'm kind of grabbing from them, and that might be like a bit of fake it till you make it. I just experienced it, and then you just kind of like go and take from people, and certain stuff kind of sticks with you, and then certain stuff just falls off the part. But like as long as you're going out there and listen to ET talks, listen to Gary V talks, and just continuously going, there's certain things that just stay with you, and then you kind of become your own version of all those different things out there.
Right. And the big point that I took from that is definitely having the authenticity, but quite frankly, having the confidence within yourself to just do it, not being afraid to take that next step. And you may not know where that takes you, but definitely having that confidence within yourself to say, you know what, I'm just going to put myself out there and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think confidence is a huge, like one of the best traits that somebody could have. And there's got to be a balance between confidence and humility. Mm-hmm. But I think confidence can sometimes really get people much farther than skill alone. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So anyway, yeah, man, this is like getting like a deep introspective podcast, like right off the jump.
Yeah. We can do it all. We can have you freestyle, and then we can question the meaning of life in the same.
And then we can rap about the meaning of life. I mean,
yeah. All right, you're up again.
No. That's hilarious.
Man. You want to hit them up. Also, give them a chance to be an educator right there, like physical therapy version 2.0. You want to hit them with that, Jared?
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm just saying,
when we talk about physical therapy version 2.0, what does that even mean?
That's for Aaron.
That's for Aaron. That's for anybody listening.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, PT 2.0 is what, I hear Jeff and people like Mike Eisenhart and Jerry Durham talk a lot about social media and things like that. And to me, PT 2.0 is about not settling for the status quo and striving to push physical therapy to be the part of the solution for healthcare that we can most definitely be, but not in the current way that we're being utilized, or the current way that probably the majority of the profession is really practicing right now. Kind of being honest about the good and bad within the profession and trying to elevate the level of care across the board. And in my mind as well, because I'm getting more into the population health realm and just the general kind of pivot within healthcare and how we approach it, I think that physical therapy can really play a pivotal role in helping people stay healthy and not only treating people after they get injured. And man, like this really came to me when I was on my out in the clinic for the first year, after I graduated, and the fact that so many patients had multiple comorbidities, but that's not why they were seeing me. So they'd come to me with shoulder pain or back pain or whatever kind of pain complaints they were having. But on the intake form, so many of them had hypertension or diabetes or high cholesterol or poor sleep or chronic headaches and all these type of chronic diseases that I wasn't really even expected to address or getting paid to address, or in my opinion, like they were second thoughts or not even thoughts at all, but probably more important than the reason they're actually even seeing me. And it's so easy to get distracted by why the person came to see you, which is often because of pain, and not even address all those other things that are possibly more important health factors that need to be addressed. But the way healthcare is typically set up, we don't have a good model for for addressing those effectively. And so I think there needs to be kind of a pivot in healthcare to focus more on those and to help delay their progression and even prevent them from even happening, because we know the solution, and it's lifestyle management. And it's staring us right in the face, but it's definitely not easy, because all the wrong choices with regards to lifestyle are even more in our face on our day-to-day basis, because our society is just not generally healthy. And damn, I'm going on a massive rant right now, if you can't tell, right? But
That's what we want. Yeah, that's what we need.
But I feel like PT can really play a pivotal role in getting into that market and helping healthy people stay healthy and not only treating sickness. So that's kind of what I'm most jazzed about lately. And people like Mike Eisenhart and my current boss, Mike Riley Jr., and Jerry Durham, and everybody else out there talking about it, Jeff Moore, and just everybody in the profession talking about it have really inspired me over the past year, and that's kind of where I want my career to go next.
Yeah. Right. So to follow that up and to put you on the hot spot a little bit, Dr. Perez,
Don't call me Dr. Perez.
You mind telling us, let's say if you have a patient with low back pain, or you could put any musculoskeletal injury behind it, or any vestibular, so on and so forth. Say if you had this patient, what would be your route if you were able to just control the healthcare realm? What would be your route to see this patient get better and not go into a deeper, darker healthcare system that we're currently living in right now?
So just to make sure I understand your question, you're saying if a patient comes to me with low back pain but also has multiple comorbidities, how do I prevent the progression of that and not allowing them to get deeper into either their disease state or the healthcare system?
Not necessarily. I guess what I'm saying is that there is a patient out there who has low back pain, and in your healthcare system, what would they do with that low back pain? So would they come see a therapist first? Would they go see someone like Mike Eisenhart or someone, movement specialist, so on and so forth?
I got you.
Yeah.
So I guess that comes to like the question of where's the entry point of care?
Correct.
For that person with low back pain. And it's a good question. I'm not, I think physical therapists are skilled enough to safely and effectively manage a point of care entry in the healthcare system. And with regards to low back pain, we know that the majority of low back pain are nonspecific musculoskeletal pain that are not serious in nature with regards to like more I can't think of the right word, but not like life-threatening, right?
Right.
Yeah. Or, not life-threatening, and something that can be managed conservatively. And so getting them to that conservative care provider more quickly rather than longer, we know, is also more effective. Research studies have shown that. The earlier we can see somebody in their episode of pain, the more effective we can be in helping them. So, of course, I'm biased because I'm a physical therapist, but if somebody's got low back pain, I think physical therapy is a great place to start. But it doesn't necessarily have to be, and I don't think that'll necessarily be the case, for some time. But even primary care providers, if we can help educate them in triaging those patients and using things like maybe the Start Back tool, which I've heard can be really helpful for deciding where a patient with low back pain maybe needs to go in the system. And really the patient with low back pain may not need any medical care, and they just need some general reassurance and advice that, there nothing looks like serious is going on. They don't need an X-ray or an MRI. And they, can take some maybe over-the-counter pain medication in the short term for some minor pain relief, shown some simple stretches, but just general advice to keep moving. And I think that'll hopefully resolve most of the low back pain out there. It certainly helps me when I get low back pain. So what do you guys think?
Ooh, Tyler's got some heated opinions on this.
Oh man. Yeah. I've got a lot of heated opinions. Something along the lines of what you got going on. I can't wait for the day that the public understands that imaging isn't what they thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now people are just so quick and they get so worried about that kind of stuff. I really think that you better have a quick access. I think physical therapists need to be on their game, and there needs to be quick access to each and every one of them in the short term, and then just everything kind of like you said. And last thing is that movement that you were just talking about, Aaron. It's just like people really underestimate how much better their back feels just from, hey, how you doing? Have you been sleeping? Okay, well, let's get you walking again, and let's see if it feels better.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think that encouraging people to embrace movement is helpful, not only for their pain, but also for so many health indicators that that person may be presenting with. Sometimes it's always it can sometimes be a tough sell though, because the sedentary society we live in, movement isn't always prioritized or enjoyed by most people, or even sometimes considered important. So telling a person that they need to move more, which they may not have been moving much in the first place, and that'll help their back pain. I don't sometimes be a tough sell. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate and give you a hard time, I guess. But but no, overall, I totally agree. And the other thing is too, a unique experience I've had during the residency I did after I graduated, and even now, once a week for my entire career so far, I've had the fortune of spending a few hours with currently a sports medicine physician, and during the residency I was with an orthopedic surgeon, just during their office hours and watching them work with patients. And I have several examples of when patients come to that doctor with a pain complaint, and this is typically not back pain because they're not spine doctors or not spine surgeons. They're sports med or orthopedic, usually peripheral joint pain. However, even there, people are often demanding an MRI or X-ray. Like it is so such like a concern for them, and they really think that that's going to be the thing to show them. So I totally agree. We need to educate the population on, imaging might not tell you what you think it does, and it can be super helpful to rule out some bad things that we want to make sure you don't have. However, for non-specific musculoskeletal pain, it might not be, it might not give you that much information as you think it might. But man, I have some empathy for the doctors who deal with those, who have to interact with those patients, because as a physical therapist, patients certainly don't come to me expecting or demanding an image because I can't order it. And they seem to know that. However, when they know the doctor can order an image and they're almost expecting that as part of their visit, it's tough sometimes to tell those people no. There's just another piece of the puzzle that I've gained a greater appreciation for. But yeah, man, we totally need to educate the public. So I agree with you.
What do you have an opinion on what's the best way to do that, to educate the public? Is it through your magnificent freestyles that you just have to go to every bar?
I'm thinking, man, maybe I need to maybe a PT Physio podcast needs to just come out and just be like freestyles about patient education topics. No, I don't know what the best solution is. I just think we need to do something, and something's better than nothing. So whether it's just getting on Facebook and doing Facebook Lives, or whether it's creating a website or Periscope, or just wherever your audience is at. In my opinion, I think most of my friends outside of the PT world are on Facebook. So I'm starting to focus my efforts there as opposed to talking to my little PT bubble on Twitter. And get out more that way. And also just getting in person, putting on community events. It can be super helpful, and not only is a more intimate setting where you could actually interact with the person more and answer their specific questions, but if you host it at your clinic, it brings them to your point of care, and they could kind of see what kind of cool things you have to offer. So that can be really helpful, and provide them the value of physical therapy while you give them some patient education. So I haven't done that too much in my career. I did it once during residency, and had the first time I did it. You guys, I don't think we're in the mentorship group yet, but I posted a picture of my attempt at community patient education. I did a talk on injury prevention for soccer players because it was an area of interest for me. And I marketed to local coaches, high school and college, as well as like athletic trainers and things like that. And had the first session on a weeknight, and nobody showed up. Ooh. And so I took a picture of nobody there and posted in the mentorship mastermind group for some encouragement. And that's exactly what I got. So
that's awesome, man.
That was pretty cool. And then the next day, I got 2 people to show up, which was cool. One of them was my coworkers, but it's all good.
At least
you're out there making the effort, and that's what I think we need to do more as a profession. So
yeah, regardless of who shows up.
Yeah, man.
Before we went on break, you were speaking about your different mentors, or sort of kind of your path to get to that 2.0. I want to take a step back and just really highlight some of those mentors. And the buzzword right now is mentorship, right? So, talking about that a little bit, and then with you being such a young clinician and going through residency and going through these different kind of mentorship groups that you're in, can you talk about how those mentors have shaped you early on in your career, and where do you see them allowing you to take the next level to potentially, take on a mentee or continue to go down that path that you're on now to clear success, not only in the rap game, but as a
because mentorship is pretty hip hop, right? It's pretty dope.
Right. And see, every great MC always talks about sort of kind of the person that molded them and taught them how to rap. So
exactly,
this would be exactly that apprenticeship that that great segue of combining hip hop with health.
I mean, you look at Drake, Lil Wayne, you look at Big Sean, Yeezy, Yeezy and Yeezy. It's really
Yeezy and Yeezy. Yeah, right.
Kanye was his mentor to Kanye. That's how.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no idea who's mentoring the Kanye of today, but he needs to get a mentor.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, whoever's Kanye's mentor is now has a lot of work to do.
Absolutely.
I shouldn't say that, but no, I mean, I miss the old Kanye. I'm just bitter because I miss the old Kanye.
Me too.
No, but so I mean, I feel like I've been lucky in my career so far. Even in clinicals, all my CIs have been pretty awesome and really good examples for me to aspire to be and to embody a little bit. My last clinical instructor, shout out to Brig Woods. I doubt he ever listens.
Brig Woods?
I don't think he's on social media or anything like that. At least I can't find him, but he's a PT out in Arizona. But he did a residency from USC, the ortho residency. And so that was my first residency trained clinician that I had worked with. And I was just amazed at, how efficiently he reasoned with patients, but also just his interaction with patients was incredible. He was such a good people person and made people feel at ease, kind of no matter their personality or no matter the situation. He could adapt his style to fit them. And that was really inspiring. And then even in the residency, my mentor was kind of unique because my main mentor was a clinician who was 3 years out, who graduated from the same program I did, who did the same residency I did after he graduated. So a very similar path, right?
What?
Yeah. Very odd how it all worked out. But very similar path that we both took on, and just seeing that he was 3 years out of school when I started the residency. And at the level of clinical expertise, the level of clinicianship he was performing at only 3 years out was pretty inspiring to me. So overall, I would say the biggest kind of takeaway maybe I've gotten from my mentorship experiences so far are just continued inspiration to do better and get better, and be willing to pass that on when I'm at the point that I feel that I'm able to. Just like I've been receiving throughout my career so far. And even the location I'm at now, I kind of chose the job that I'm at because of my direct supervisor and the inspiration that I got from talking to him and just seeing the way that he interacts with people. Shout out to Mike, is pretty inspiring. And something that I want to emulate. I'm not sure that when we hear like Jeff and Gene talk about mentorship, they had done those Facebook Lives in the mentorship group recently.
Right.
And the kind of mentorship they had talked about, I'm not sure I've ever truly experienced that level of mentorship yet. I think it's been more like, I forget the levels of mentorship that Gene had mentioned.
Were you referring to the highest level of mentorship?
Yeah, the highest level of mentorship.
Investment?
Yeah, I guess it'd be investment. Yeah, I'm not sure I've like truly totally gotten to that point yet with any particular person. However, the different forms of mentorship that I have experienced are still incredibly valuable, and definitely a benefit to doing a residency. But there's definitely other reasons to do a residency beyond just mentorship, though. And I think that that's the number one reason people say they want to do a residency. But I would encourage people to think of other reasons, because you certainly don't just need a residency for the mentorship. Or that's not the only reason to seek one out. And you can get mentorship outside of a residency as well. So the only reason I say that is because I remember when I was first doing the residency, I was on a call with some current DPT students that my program director asked me to join in with some other current residents. And he asked all the current residents, what is the reason you chose to do a residency? And literally all 5 of us said mentorship. And it just he had to stop us. And he's like, all right, guys, I get it. Mentorship is great, but like, give me another reason, because there's so many other reasons. And it just kind of was like an eye opener for me. Like, you know what I mean? Mentorship's just becoming too much of a buzzword to me. You know what I mean?
Right,
and
right.
You gotta think of other reasons for seeking out the position that you're seeking out.
Mm-hmm.
So
what are some other great reasons to choose residency besides that big buzzword?
Yeah. So the opportunities you get through a residency are pretty remarkable. Like, I got the opportunity to do some teaching, which was an important goal of mine. So I gave a 1-hour lecture to some physical therapists in Pennsylvania at a 2-day symposium that St. Francis University hosts every year. So that was pretty unique. Then I also taught an elective sports class to some DPT students with one of my co-residents. And that was a 6-hour day of lecture. I think it was 6 hours, maybe 4.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. It was a lot of work to prepare, but it was interactive, and it was a small group setting. So it was a lot of fun, man. I love interacting with PT students, and I love teaching. So I love those experiences. I mentioned interacting with this orthopedic surgeon every week for a few hours, and seeing how he interacts with patients and the challenges that they have compared to the challenges that we have, and how effective communication can really elevate patient care between referring providers. And then I think the biggest benefit that I got from my residency experience, and I think it will vary for everyone, but really forming relationships with not only the mentors, but the other people within the residency. So your co-residents, I became pretty good friends with one of the co-residents nearest to me geographically, because it's a multi-site residency. There's another kid, similar situation to me, just out of school, new grad, and going through the residency. And we would collaborate a lot and talk about the things we were learning, and work together on weekends to refine techniques. And we went to the sports section annual conference, the sports concept, team concept conference in Vegas. And I remember we had a red-eye flight home, and it was an exhausting trip just because you're at the conference all day, and then it's Vegas. So of course you're going out after, and there's little sleep, and then you get a red eye home. And literally we had like a 3-hour drive from the airport back to where we were living. And the whole time we were just like debating shit that we had learned during the conference, even though we were freaking exhausted. So just like when you're surrounded by people who are that engaged, it makes for a really awesome experience. And to start my career that way and to gain a friendship with somebody who is so motivated, and just to have somebody in your contact list you can reach out to when you feel you need some help or some encouragement is super, super valuable. So that was probably the number one thing that I feel like I got from my residency. So shout out to Pat. Hopefully he'll listen, but he's not like me where he's super all over social media and stuff. So I'll probably have to like.
You just tell him you dropped a hot 16 and he'll come check it out.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the follow-up question I had with all of that. So you receive the mentorship, or, you receive the residency and you gain a vast knowledge of skills, clinically, relationship wise, and just adding a trajectory onto your career. Do you believe that residency should be a mandatory situation, or should it be optional, and why?
I think that's a good question. That was always something that I would that I was really wondering myself when I was coming out of school, and I was super like laser focused on residency and kind of not looking at any other options, which I don't think was the right move at the time. I got lucky that it worked out, but in my opinion, the way that the cost of DPT education right now, to ask students to take a hit financially right out of school when they have those loans just starting up, isn't realistic for probably a lot of people.
Okay.
And I know some people that are still doing it regardless because they're just that motivated, and so much props goes out to them. However, it's just not a total realistic option for everyone. I would love for residency to eventually become the standard and to become what was the word you used? Necessary, I guess, or required.
Required.
Because I think it can be super beneficial, but it's certainly not totally necessary for people to become a great clinician or to have a fulfilling career.
Right.
And it's certainly not realistic at this time point. So there needs to be some significant changes within the way DPT education is currently taking place for that to happen. However, you know more about this than I do, Dy'mire, but being a South College DPT student yourself, South College is kind of paving the way for that to happen. The fact that their tuition costs are much reduced and the time they spend in school is reduced allows, I believe, like the last graduating class, like 80% went on to residency or something like that, I heard John Child say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're paving the way, man. And maybe that gives me hope that it will become kind of the standard in the future. And hopefully that will totally just elevate the level of care throughout the profession, starting kind of from the ground up with new grads, which is pretty cool.
Right. Absolutely. And I believe if we want to begin to foster a change in mindset, if it should be residency or not, then we have to first start at the entry point, right? So we want to we always talk about not wanting to necessarily treat that patient at the end, but necessarily like get them at the beginning before they go through the healthcare system. And the same thing with, to residency or not to residency, right? Meeting that change is and saying, hey, if we can cut tuition, if we can, lop off a year and stick a residency in there that's completely optional, then, why not do it? So definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, totally.
I was going to completely shift gears and ask Aaron about his childhood a little bit. Not going too deep into it, but just talk about how whenever you were a child, we all had, I know for sure I did not want to become a physical therapist. It was going to be like Superman or some arbitrary like superhero, right? Transformers, whatever you want to call it. So if you had a chance to choose between your childhood professional career and your career that you have now, what is it, and why would and which one would you choose?
I think you guys already know the answer.
Yes, we did. Yes.
Dude, I wanted to be a rapper for the longest time, even like into college years.
Mm-hmm.
And I never launched the motherfucker. I never did much about it. But it was always kind of just like I wouldn't say a passion, but definitely, I guess, more of a hobby than a passion. But I was super into it from a young age. And, hip hop was so universal, by the time I was growing up, that lots of people were into it. But the area that I grew up in, it wasn't necessarily like, it wasn't like everybody was listening to hip hop, but that was the most popular music. And I'm not exactly sure what drew me to it so much, but I just loved it from a pretty young age. And
where'd you grow up?
I grew up south side of Chicago, but it wasn't, it was definitely an urban area, but it wasn't in the inner city or in a place that where hip hop was like the predominant influence in the culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in the city of Chicago on the south side.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chi-Town. And that's certainly a big hip hop area, but it's not like all my friends, that was like what they were listening to, but that's what I was listening to. And dude, I don't know why, like my parents from a young age, they would buy me the CDs that I would ask for. My mom would just be like, if you listen to this, like, don't be going around and like repeating the words that you hear or whatever. I'd be like, oh, I just want it for this one song, that's all. I'm not even going to listen to the other stuff. But I would like convince her not to buy me the edited version of the songs.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, oh, bleeps, mom. Like, that's not worth it. Like, you gotta, like, I need the raw version.
I need that advisory.
Yeah. I mean, going back, I'm not sure I would buy my own kids some of the CDs that they bought me, but like I love them so much for doing that because it fostered my love for it. And dude, I was listening to every song and memorizing every single lyric.
What albums, what artists were your early influences when you first fell in love with hip hop?
Eminem for sure, who's still probably my favorite rapper. I think the first CD that I got from him was the Marshall Mathers LP, and then I went back and got the Slim Shady LP after that. Yeah. But you could name a song and pick a verse off of either CD, and I probably know it by heart. So Eminem for sure. And then I know Kanye, but he was a little bit later when he was starting to get popular because he was from Chicago, so that was huge. There was a time in high school where I was kind of really into Joel Santana and the whole Dipset crew.
Dipset Burt Gang?
Dude, yeah. I'm still waiting. Me and my friend joke about it. I'm still waiting on Born to Lose, Built to Win. That album was supposed to come out in like 2008, and it's still never gonna come out.
That was a Joel's one?
Yeah, that was a Joel's one. It was supposed to come out, it never did. But even going back, like I started to go back into hip hop at a young age, and like some of the people more old school and like young Emcee. I love his stuff. Like Tupac and Biggie, obviously, Nas, and it just continued to spawn from there. And lots of people kind of more underground that other people may not have heard of, but yeah, man. So anyway, this is kind of going on a tangent, but I wanted to be a rapper for the longest time. And then I luckily chose PT out of high school. And as I got into grad school and got into it more, I started to fall in love with it and spent a lot less time on Two Dope Boys and all the hip hop blogs. A lot more time on all the PT blogs, and became kind of a nerd. But I still love hip hop and listen to it frequently. So
you can never leave hip hop officially.
No.
Yeah, man. How about you guys? Did you guys have a something you wanted to do besides PT?
I know I always wanted to be a doctor. I just didn't know what kind.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't until like my first semester of college where I decided to make the transition and from orthopedic surgeon to physical therapist. And we can have a whole different podcast about why I decided to do that. But yep, I always wanted to be a doctor.
That's awesome, man. Straight out the womb, getting that doctorate.
Yeah.
Coming out the room with a lab coat.
And then there were this, I play sports. So, every childhood, every child that plays sports, he wants to become the next, superstar in it. So, whenever I'm 5'4", and yes, I'm saying my height, 5'4", 5'5", in 10th grade, I sort of kind of had to start picking my options other places. Not talk about any means.
That's 5'4", straight muscle though. All muscle.
Yeah. So it was So like recruiters would say, "Hey, dude, you get the size, the quantitative size, the strength, so on and so forth. But man, you are not growing one bit." And I was like, "Yep." So, hey, this is where I am. So start looking towards medicine. You can be any height in medicine.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Jared?
I don't know. I kind of bounced around, man. I know, like, kind of like Aaron. It was like after in high school, you kind of think about, well, I like exercise and I like fitness. I think this PT, this physical therapy route, seems to be a close relationship to that, and I'll pursue that. But in the other realm, I'm still, besides hip hop, I never went like, I think the rapper career would be my path. But I did think I do like comedy, stand-up comedy and other stuff. So in the back of my head, I still kind of have fantasies about being on stage and doing stand-up and doing
that's awesome.
Little improv bits. So
yeah.
Dude, I can tell just by seeing you on your Facebook Lives and stuff, you're very comfortable in front of a camera. I could see you being comfortable on stage and stuff. Dude, you got to check out a video that I just shared on Facebook the other day. I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you've seen it shared elsewhere. But this one dude is going door to door selling cleaning product.
Yes.
Oh my God, dude! I don't know his name is, but he had me dying. Oh my!
Was he's intentionally trying to be funny, or is it just his natural?
Oh, you didn't see it? I thought you sounded like you saw it.
No, I didn't see it.
He's selling cleaning product to people, but he's doing it in a way that's very comedic, and he's just like on a roll. And the person that he's selling to is just like dying laughing, and
That's awesome.
He's like, most people just buy this shit because they think I'm funny, and I was like, dude, and I guess he had mentioned in the video that Jamie Foxx got his start going door to door or something like that. I don't know if that's true.
Wow.
But he had mentioned something about that in there, and I was like, dude, this guy's about to blow up.
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
He was hilarious. You got to see it. Go to my Facebook page and you'll see the video on my timeline somewhere.
For sure.
I will make one comment real quick. Nas, embarrassing moment for me. Everyone talks about Nas' first album be one of the greatest, right? So I thought the first album, me being as, I thought I was as versed as I was in hip hop. I thought the first album was the album that had the Lauryn Hill song on it.
You talking about Illmatic?
Yeah, that's the second one, correct? I'm not sure. Anyways, so I had a very embarrassing moment like 2 months ago where I was like, and I'm like listing all the songs off his second album. And it was like, that's the second album. So I heard the first album and I did not like it at all. I was like, what is the hype about this one? The second album was really, really nice, but the first album was.
I'll get Aaron to check the facts on this, but it looks like I think Illmatic was released in 1994 and then It Was Written was released in 1996.
Yeah.
Yeah,
whichever one has Lauryn Hill on it, that's my favorite one. The one before, like I guess his first album that everyone touts as great.
So If I Ruled the World with Lauryn Hill, that was on It Was Written, and that was the second one, right?
Yeah, that has to be.
You're trashing on Illmatic.
Yeah, I'm trashing on Illmatic. What? Yeah, dude, I didn't care for that one. Once I listened, I was like, I didn't find a song on here that I actually care for. But
even Life Is a Bitch is on here on Illmatic.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you.
Represent? It Ain't Hard to Tell? The Genesis? New York State of Mind?
None of those songs like even struck a bell and I haven't even heard it before. So anyways, just to throw that plug in there, and we can completely get away from that topic right now. But
we could stay on the hip hop topic. I want to bring up something that before we went live, we were talking about rappers and things like that and how Jared's from Austin. First of all, Jared, are there any dope Austin rappers that I should know about?
First of all, I just want to clarify, I'm from New Orleans. So
Oh, you're from New Orleans?
yeah, originally from New Orleans in Louisiana, and that's
Are
a
you
whole
are you a huge Weezy fan?
Weezy. Let's take it back before that. I was a huge Hot Boys fan.
All right.
And to set the record straight, back in the day, Hot Boys, it was all about your boy Juvie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. And that's why Dewey wanted more money.
A Juve.
You ever hear the rapper D1?
Yeah, he's that the guy that did the loan rap? No, I might be wrong. Paying back my student loans.
No. D1 is he's kind of a positive rapper from or like positive message rapper, right? From New Orleans though, but really, really talented. You should check him out.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you asked about the Austin scene.
Yeah, Austin scene. There's gotta be some.
Oh yeah, it's popping. There's shout out to the Austin Mic Exchange every Tuesday having freestyle performances and showcasing local acts. My classmate, fellow classmate in the Flex program, Promise Udo, you can find him at his rap name, producer name, Black Da Vinci. He is still performing and showcasing his beats all around the Austin area while still going to PT school. So we have labs on the weekend, physical labs, and there was this old story about him. He had a performance late Friday night, like he went on at maybe 1 a.m. on a Friday, and then had physical therapy lab starting at 8 a.m. So that's his hustle.
Shout out.
Living hip hop and doing physical therapy at the same time.
He's my new favorite PT.
Yeah, living the dream.
For sure. Yeah, Austin's budding, man. We've got some cool vibes coming up.
That's awesome. And then I was kind of, before I had asked that, we were talking about just Texas hip hop scene in general, I think, and how Houston just produces the rappers with the best voices of all time.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what's in the water there, but like Bun B and Zero and Pimp C and all them just have like the best rap voices ever.
Pimp C and Pow Wow.
so shout out to Houston.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
H-Town. I remember because when Katrina hit, I moved to around the Houston area with my cousin, and that's like when Houston was popping, like Chameleonaire was popping, Paul Wall, and and Slim Thugger, was coming with that vote. I still mess up the tipping song, and everybody was like tipping on Vovos, and Chopping Screwed was huge.
Yeah,
Mike Jones was coming out, and it was just like all these. I said Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones?
Yeah.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones, Stay Flossin' is still like one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Mike Jones like did not have to work as hard on any of his songs because he would just repeat a lot of his verses.
True.
It is true. It is true.
Like he did half as much work as any other rapper. But it was so cool to be in Houston and see that like their scene popping off. Man.
That's what's up.
What's your favorite style? Like what's if we want to go by regions, where you looking at is like, man, that besides Houston is like a good style of flow.
I like a lot of different styles, I guess, but I mean, like the Midwest kind of started that with Bone Thugs and Twist and all that, started that fast rapping. And I remember, growing up trying to memorize that stuff and trying to rap it. So I thought the fast stuff was super cool. And actually Eminem, if you know a little bit about his history, that's how he kind of started out. He thought rapping fast was like rapping good.
Right.
And so that's what he tried to emulate. And then he, found his own voice. But I mean, the Midwest is awesome. Detroit and Chicago have huge hip hop scenes.
Yeah.
The West Coast, that laid back vibe is awesome. And then New York, that kind of more rough and rugged vibe is also dope. But hip hop is so everyone's, for the regionally, I feel like there's no real true regional sound much anymore because you can be from anywhere and sound like anyone. Yeah. So it's all good. I've just always been more into lyrics and lyricism, and less. The beat is kind of an afterthought for me, although of course a good beat's always good. Yeah. But I like to listen to the words and memorize it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, do you have any recorded tracks out there?
I have no recorded tracks.
You have no recorded? There's no Aaron Perez mixtape?
God, there's no Aaron Perez mixtape. I'll tell you this. I'll share some embarrassing info. Well, there's actually one video, a YouTube video promoting PT, which I guess is cool to share, right? But we had a class project in PT school that the assignment was you had to do a 1-minute elevator pitch promoting PT, why people should get PT or what PT is. And of course I was like, dude, let's make a rap with my partner.
Hell yeah.
So the scene is like, my friend has low back pain, her butt hurts, right? And I'm asking her if she's been to physical therapy before. She says, I don't know what that is. And then we jump to another scene where we got a beatbox playing a song.
Yeah.
And then I just do this like pretty corny rap, but it's still pretty hilarious. And so it's about a minute long. I think if you search PT Baby rap, you might find it. It's over Ice Ice Baby, hence the name PT Baby.
Beautiful.
So that's a recorded thing. But
we'll put that in the show notes.
No. So yeah, put that in the show notes exactly. When I was in high school, I was serious about. I was like semi-serious about this PT or rap thing, and really wanted to pursue it. So my friend came over, and he's really into music. Is still into music, and is in a band and plays. He's toured around the U.S. and plays a lot of shows in Chicago where he lives, but. He came over with some recording equipment, and we tried to record a few songs that I had written to the beats that he was making, and it was so bad.
Yeah,
it was embarrassingly bad. I didn't know how to flow over a beat. I was nervous when I was doing it. It just sounded so shitty.
It's hard, man.
So and that really discouraged me for a while from continuing to pursue it. Though I'd always like still come up with raps and stuff, but I never really went in and like recorded it. I just did it for fun since that time. But he might still have those horrible songs somewhere on a very old laptop, but I hope that laptop is broken and destroyed and all of that is just gone.
All that gold.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
16 bars of fire. 16 bars of fire. Just real quick, Aaron, we've been promoting this cool new section of the show that I dropped a few episodes ago. Just real quick, you mind telling us what is your favorite duck? So, of course, the podcast is the Duck Legs podcast. So we want to know, what is your favorite duck? Just real quick.
Man, I must have not heard any recent episodes. I don't remember you guys asking that to people.
Nope, not out yet.
Those are all unreleased episodes.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm not a duck aficionado. I don't know too many ducks, but the first thing that came to my mind, it's probably a bad response, but I don't even know if a pigeon is a duck, but I'm going to say pigeon because they're not afraid of anything, dude. They're always in the city, and they don't fucking move for anybody. You can like kick them, and they don't fucking move.
That's true.
Yeah.
We should all be more like pigeons.
Yeah, dude. They don't give a fuck. They got no fear, so shout out to pigeons.
Yo, shout out to pigeons, man. Pigeons be doing it, man.
They'll move.
That's my new mantra is be more like a pigeon 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hashtag year to pigeons.
Dude, what's I don't know, when you just started talking like that, you remind me of this podcast that is completely non-PT related that I recently got into. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Jesus and Mero. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Dude, you got to look them up. You would love it. It's very like there's just two dudes from New York who just talk about like pop culture stuff, but they're like the funniest. They're the funniest dudes ever. Jared, and Dy'mire too. I'm pretty sure you guys would love it.
That's awesome, son. That sounds cool as shit.
That's exactly how they talk. What's
hilarious? Like offended like every New York listener.
Son, it's cool though.
Yeah, cool.
Yo, they said on the best thing is they said on an episode that they recently got an email from some teacher in like a foreign country that he's using their podcast to teach his students English.
That's awesome.
So they're learning like the urban slang New York version of English. And
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it makes me so happy that people are doing that.
You too.
Oh my God.
Some foreign kids somewhere.
Jesus and Miro, you should check out their podcast. You guys have any podcasts that you listen to that are not PT related?
Man, I'm huge on Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Never heard of it.
That is a dope podcast.
Go ahead.
I'd say if you like Neil deGrasse Tyson and sciencey stuff with some random comedians that are on there too.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I listen to some Tim Ferriss stuff.
I love Tim Ferriss.
Yeah, I listen to some Tim Ferriss stuff, and he brings on people that are just completely just way too smart for me to even listen to, and he just gets them talking, and they just go back and forth. But before this episode, shuts us off of Zoom, Aaron, we want to give you a chance to allow people to get in touch with you as much as they want to. So you mind dropping some Twitter handles, some emails, or whatever you feel comfortable with dropping, just so people can get in touch with you and ask a little bit more about quote unquote mentorship and residency and just your hip hop, bars and
where I can download that mixtape.
Yeah, right. Do you mind just speaking about that?
Yeah, I see I got about a minute left. So real quick, you can find my Twitter is at Aaron Perez PT, and my email is aaronperezdpt@gmail.com. You can look me up on Facebook too. Those would probably be the best places to reach me. And before this time ends, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. I started listening to PT podcasts about a year or so ago and have been like a loyal listener to many of them, and always thought it'd be a cool career moment to be relevant or cool enough to get on one. And I don't feel deserving to be on this one now, but I'm just lucky enough to know you guys in the mentorship group, and you guys are cool enough to ask me. So I'm humbled to be here and join you guys on this, and it was a lot of fun. So
you're going to be on many more.
Yeah.
You're going to be all over the podcast scene.
Let's hope so, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you
guys. Have a good one. Enjoy the weekend.
You're the best, sir.
We're chilling here on the podcast with the Duck Legs.